Hello, everybody. Krista Kitsune here, and we are returning back to the gray blob that eats everything. Um, we are returning back to Tasty Planet 2, back for seconds, because it's a fun little eating to get bigger game, much like Agario and Slitherio. But it's a lot more detailed with the fact that you're actually eating things instead of just little, minuscule orbs of things. So we're going to start in, and where we left off, if I can remember correctly, is we were just at the very beginning of the Age of the Dinosaurs because we ate a time machine, and then we got sent back into the past, and we were eating insects and stuff. So we're going to go back and continue that. We started here with the dinosaurs, so we're going to go up and see exactly what there is to see. So we're eating bones, apparently. Just a bunch of bones. How exciting is that? I would think that we would like eating dinosaurs and not when we go from insects to bones. It seems kind of like counterproductive, if you ask me. I mean, once you get to the bones being this particular, state, they're kind of like, there's nothing to them. I mean, at least you get vitamins and stuff from bugs. You don't get nothing but calcium from bones and stuff. Just eat all that stuff up. Not big enough for the skulls yet. Big enough for the spines. And we got to, still not to the skulls yet. These rocks. No, now we're to the skulls. Alright. Now we zoomed out so we can see all the stuff that we can eat now. Ferns. I guess we're kind of moving up from, soon we're going to be eating trees and stuff and bigger bones, so. Get wrecked. Dinosaur. But when I was a kid, I was obsessed with dinosaurs. I was kind of into things that little kids weren't normally. I was into bugs. I liked bugs. I liked mostly roly-poly bugs. I mean, those were my favorite. And I liked to play with them. I can't get through there. And instead of having I did eventually have one, but I had a lunchbox that had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on it, and I was a fan of the old Teenage Mutant Ninja TMNT. I was into the old school stuff, the movies that came out in the 80s, and I didn't really watch the cartoons so much. I just liked the movies. But I did have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle lunchbox. But I loved dinosaurs. I was obsessed with dinosaurs. I had books about dinosaurs. I could name all the dinosaurs to you and say, yeah, this is the Triceratops and this is the T-Rex, whatever. And I knew some the obscure ones too. I mean, I had a book that was Dinosaur Encyclopedia. I'm back to the bugs again. So what the fuck? Why are we back to the bugs? It makes no sense. We're back exactly where we were. Oh, I think I know where we're going. We're kind of backtracking a little bit. We're going to do the bugs. And then we're going to do the dinosaur bones or something? I don't know. But as I grew older, though, I was kind of like got out of the grasshopper, got out of the dinosaur thing. I still had my books, but I wasn't really into dinosaurs anymore. They're still cool, but I wouldn't be able to name them for you anymore, like I used to. And then after, I was into Mickey Mouse. I was like a real big fan of Mickey Mouse apparently when I was a kid. So much so that like my grandparents tell me that when I was like really young, that anytime a commercial came on that had Mickey Mouse on it, I'd be like right there at the TV watching it. And there was something about Lee's press-on nails that was like a commercial that they kept joking that the commercial of Lee's press-on nails was like a message from my home planet, and that I was getting incoming messages or something from that commercial. I have no idea what they were going on about, but I obviously don't remember all that. But I remember the only thing, I went to Disneyland when I was a kid, but they made the mistake of taking me when I was 4. So like, yeah, in like 10 years I wasn't gonna remember going to Disneyland. And of course I don't. The only thing, I have like photographic proof that I kissed Mickey Mouse on the nose, but I don't actually really remember kissing him on the nose. But I must have been like ecstatic that I got to see my bae Mickey Mouse. But after Mickey Mouse, it was kind of like, I don't even know what I was into after Mickey Mouse. I don't even remember. I know I got into like card captors. That wasn't until like way later. Yeah, we're getting into dinosaurs and stuff now. Start at the bottom of the food chain and work our way up. Because there's bigger dinosaurs in here now. They're wandering around. I hate the turtles. So the most interesting pet that I've had, now we're changing subject, is a turtle. Are you chasing after me? Oh no you didn't. Oh no you're not. Quit chasing me, you fucker. Get out of there. I'm gonna eat you eventually, so you might want to stop following me. Thank you. I couldn't ever get like a rat or anything like that because my grandmother doesn't like rodents. She doesn't like anything reptile. So one of the times that we were at our local farmer's market, well, as local as it was when we were living in our other town, but, stop running into me. We went to this big farmer's market that we have near here, and, haha, see, I ate you, asshole. And they had, like, this little pet store that sold, like, turtles and things like that, and I asked my mom if I could have a turtle, and she's all like, I was like, it's not a lizard, it's not a rodent, and she kind of was like, fine. So then I got a red slider turtle, and I had it for a while until it got to the point where it was way too much trouble to take care of, because it was such a big turtle that it was like, I had to clean the tank every week, and the tank, it's not an easy way to clean the tank at my house. So I basically was like taking it out back, dumping it, and then it got cracked at one point, and it was just too much hassle. So I went back and traded it and see if I could trade it in for like a smaller turtle that took up less space and didn't need as much care. And I had another one which was about half the size of the one that I got, and I named it, or it doesn't really matter the name, but it was a smaller turtle, and I had that one for a while until it got older and died. And that was the most interesting animal that I had as a pet. I really wanted like a chinchilla, but those things are goddamn expensive and they're really high maintenance. I mean, for shit, they're high maintenance. Expensive and high maintenance, not a good pet for somebody who doesn't make a lot of money. So I didn't get a chinchilla. I have had rabbits. Rabbits are not that bad. I've had rabbits. I had a total of 3 rabbits in my life. The last one was actually from a friend who, they couldn't take care of it anymore because I guess they were moving or something, and they couldn't take it with them, and they asked if I wanted it for free, and I'm like, sure, I'll take it. Actually, I had to ask my mom first, but then she was all like, I don't know, you didn't really I mean, I was like notorious for like not taking very good care of animals. I mean, I was like too, into taking care of them. I was like always like right, there and pestering them and, making them wish they didn't live in my house. But I liked the last one that I had. He was a really pretty color too, but he ended up, I had when I took him out, I closed him into my room so that the dog wouldn't get to him, because I've had a dog that took, basically killed one of my rabbits before. So I had to close my door whenever I got to take him out. His name was Foster Freeze, by the way, and he was a really calm and, very quiet rabbit. And there was one time that I had him on the floor, and I had his dish there on the floor, and he was eating food, and his back was to the door, so he wasn't looking at the door, or wasn't, in the line of sight of the door. And the dog that he had just gotten not too long before that, I'm going in the water? No, I guess I can't do that. The dog that we just gotten, I have to go through here, was very attached to me. She was a Belgian Shepherd, and she was very attached to me, and she liked being with me all the time. She would follow me everywhere I went, and I always had to close her out of the room, and I felt really bad for doing that because, she didn't like me being in a closed room without her. But I was in my room, and I had, like I said, I had the rabbit on the floor, and he was eating his dish, out of his dish, and the dog jumps onto the door, and, makes this big old loud, thud. She jumps up against the door, which scares the crap out of my rabbit, and he's, eating food at the same time, and it scares him to the point where he's, choking, and so then I had to, run him out to where my dad was, and he used to be a registered nurse, so I go, help him, but by the time that he got around to trying to, take care of the matter, he was already, gone. So I didn't have any way to dispose of him at that moment because it was kind of late at night, and so I put him outside, and around that season it was really cold. So hear me, I was when I went to go check on him the next morning, even though he was dead, he was stiff, and it was oh, it must have been really, really cold last night because he froze. And I was I didn't know about rigor mortis, so I was oh, it must have been really cold because he froze. And grandmother was all that's because of rigor mortis. And I'm what's that? But no. Yeah, so that was the last rabbit that I've had. And here's me talking about pets and stuff. But, hey, tell me, if you watch this video, what's the most interesting pet that you had? And what's the most interesting pet that you want to have? Because I think that would be kind of interesting to know. It could be any kind of animal. It could be, a mythical animal. It could be, an animal that's not destined to be a pet, like a tiger or a panther or something like that. Or it could just be, something that you created yourself. Because I do that all the time. I create animals and stuff on my own. I used to do the same thing with any kind of story that I would, read. I would make up characters for the book, or whatever. So when I was reading and watching Pokemon and stuff, I made up my own Pokemon. So making up animals and stuff like that is completely cool, in my opinion. I would make up hybrids and things of animals to make new animals. But if I had a pet animal, of any kind of animal, I would have a unicorn, because unicorns are so cool. I was always into unicorns, like, ever since I was little. And what's funny is that my mom, she's into unicorns too, and she, like, collects them. It's funny because, I mean, if you hear me, okay, this is going to be confusing, but if you hear me talking about my mom, usually I'm talking about, like, my grandmother, because I was raised by my grandparents, so, since I was little, so I refer to my grandmother as mom. Now, I have my mom, who's up, in the next state over, so, she's, usually I refer to her as mom me, but, which is kind of juvenile, but, just to help to defer between the two. But anyway, so, she's into unicorns, and she likes the same color I do, which is purple. So I kind of took out, after her in that aspect, which is kind of interesting. And I look a lot like her too. So it's kind of like I'm her mini me instead of mini me clone instead of a kid or something. It's just kind of funny how we like some of the same things. She likes wolves. I'm not really big into wolves. They're okay, but I mean I'm not like gaga over them. But I do like unicorns. I like drawing unicorns, and I like, I don't really collect many unicorn figurines or anything, mainly because I'm, like, really super picky when it comes to that kind of stuff, but, like, unicorns in general, I usually try to, collect if they look nice, so I get, like, stuffed animals mostly, stuffed animal unicorns, because those are kind of cute, and they're fluffy, and you can sleep with them if you want to, if you're, need that kind of security. But anyway, so this was an interesting episode, I guess. I talked a lot throughout the whole thing about pets and then, like, that kind of stuff. But we're going to go ahead and probably end this video here. We did 3 levels, 4 levels, yeah, 3 levels, and we are we're still in the dinosaur era. We're slowly chomping our way through, the different, periods, I guess you could call it. So we got, like, a long way to go, so, we got a couple more dozen levels, episodes to go from here. I'm joking. It probably won't be a dozen. It'll just be, like, half a dozen or something. But for that question, if you, tell me what was the coolest pet that you ever had as growing up, or now. I mean, a lot of people that were watching the channel might be younger, so if you still have a pet that's really cool, let me know. One friend that I had a daegu, which is kind of like a rodent. It passed away, but it was kind of like a mouse something or other. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was a rodent type thing. But if you have a cool pet or had a cool pet, let me know. And also, what kind of pet would you like to have? It doesn't matter, broaden your horizons and tell me, like, what kind of really, really cool animal, real or fictional, would you like to have as a pet? And I said I would want to have a unicorn or an alicorn, because then, if you had an alicorn, then you could just fly on its back and go places. But anyway, that's going to be the end of this video for now. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and share it, because it will help me out a lot. Be sure to check out this little thing right here and do what it says, because then you'll know when I do videos. And I also have Twitter. You can follow the link to my Twitter will be on the bottom of that, and leave comments down below about what I just said. So that will be all for this video, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.